Thursday. I am so excited to be with you all tonight. We are talking all things Facebook Reels using sermon excerpts in your Facebook Reels to get the message of Jesus to the world in the way that the world wants to receive it now. If you were with me on the last time, we talked about just basic Facebook Reels, how to create Facebook Reels from scriptures or from regular posts or just little clips that you have in your phone. But on tonight, we're going to talk about creating sermon excerpt, using sermon excerpt, to make Facebook Reels. So if that's something that you're interested in, I want you to go ahead and share this. Even if you aren't interested in it, but you know somebody that's interested in it, I want you to go ahead and share this particular broadcast with all of your friends. And even though tonight I'm going to be talking more about how churches and ministries can use Facebook Reels to promote or to push out or to share sermon excerpts, this is actually for anybody that wants to use Facebook Reels. And so we're going to walk through that process. If you want something a little more in depth, I'm going to leave a link in the comments or in the description. If you're on YouTube, there's also going to be a card that I'll link up here for that one that we did a couple of weeks ago that is really, really, really in depth, step by step as well. So welcome. And if you are here, I want to hear you say hi to me in the comments so that I can know that you are here. So I'm going to just jump into it. I always kind of like to just go forth and talk about it. And so I'm going to jump into the actual step-by-step process. For those of you that are live streaming your services, if you record those live streams, it's going to be really, really easy to capture those sermon contents, because as you are live streaming, it's actually usually recording on a hard drive of a computer, and you can just pull that entire service and then go through and pick out some excerpts from your pastors that are really, really poignant. Now, most of you that are watching probably already use Facebook Reels, or if you want to venture into using Facebook Reels, I'll explain exactly what they are. Facebook Reels are vertical video, short form, anywhere from 0 seconds to now it's 90 seconds. It used to be 60 seconds, but Facebook just added to most people. You might not have it yet. If you don't have 90 seconds yet, you'll see it coming. But 60 to 90 seconds, here's the caveat. I would recommend that you stay along that 45 to 60 second time frame for Reels, only because people's attention spans, as we know, are really, really small. So we want to make sure that we capture their attention. Also, be mindful to capture an entire thought in a reel, and you can capture a thought in 7 seconds. So when you are looking for those excerpts, I want you to look between 7 seconds to 30 seconds. That's kind of the sweet spot for talking heads or for sermon excerpts. So you want to keep it quick unless it's powerful throughout the whole thing. And don't choose the sermon excerpts where maybe your pastor or a minister is kind of ramping up. I want you to catch the high notes of that sermon excerpt or that reel that you're trying to produce. So with all that said, I am going to go ahead and we're going to jump into, and I'm going to screen share. So let's do this. We're going to screen share so you can actually see the process. And I'm going to go through the process of actually cutting up the actual service. So let's say like our church, we live stream, but we always get a hard copy, or typically we'll have a hard copy of that live stream saved to the computer. So what you'll see on this actual screen share is you see iMovie. For all of my Apple users, if you have a Apple desktop, laptop, this is the free software that comes with the Apple so that you can edit video, and it's called iMovie. Now, if you are a PC user, I believe the software that comes with the PC is called Windows Movie Maker. There are also some free tools that you can use and some paid tools that you can use. I use a free tool. It's called DaVinci Resolve when I'm doing editing work for other churches or for businesses and nonprofits, because I also do video editing as a service for my business. So I use DaVinci Resolve. It's a free service. It is what movie makers use. They use DaVinci Resolve. So it's free, but the learning curve for it is really, really steep. Another one that if you're an Apple user, then you'll have, what is it? And it just escaped me. It's the amped up version of iMovie. But here's what I'll say. Use the free versions. They're really, really good. They have just about everything that you need in them. So I would say just go ahead and use the free version of it. And then as your church grows or as your needs grow, then you might jump into something like Final Cut Pro. That's what it, thank you, Lord. It escaped my, something like Final Cut Pro or Adobe or anything like that. But if you got a Mac, iMovie will work. If you have a PC, Windows Movie Maker will work as well. So what you'll see is I have an old service. And so I'm going to drop that down. So just to kind of walk you through how you can actually cut this up. And this was our first lady. She was preaching. And so what I would do as I am creating sermon excerpts is I'm going to go through her entire message and I'm going to find places that I think are really pivotal. And a lot of times what may be even better is if you do this actually during the sermon while your preacher is actually preaching this, while your pastor is preaching, while a guest minister or anyone is preaching. Mark time spots in that and actually go through it. But here I'm doing it post-production. And so I'll actually go through this actual clip and I will find places in here and I'll just actually perform some cuts and I'll decide which one of these. So whatever software that you're going to use, you're just going to go through here and you're going to pick out different cuts of that video that you want to use. Let me pull it back so you can see it. And so I'll just go in here and I'm going to just arbitrarily, as you see me, making cuts. So if you're on and just some free iMovie hacks. If you're on something like iMovie, if you find a place that you want to cut it, you just select the clip and you hit, and this is if you're on a Mac, and if you're using iMovie you are, you just select Command and B, which B is blade, which actually gives you your cut. And you can see that I cut those two clips. And so I'll just go through here and I'm just making cuts on where I want it to be. And then after, let's say I've made all my cuts, I'll take, let's see, all this extra out. Let's say I only want to use this 11-second segment here. If you hover over it in the top right, or excuse me, left corner, it'll show you how long that clip is. So let's say I want to use this 11-second one. All I have to do now is just go up, click on the little up arrow in the corner, and it'll give me options. I usually typically use the export file, and then I'm going to put that on my computer or airdrop that's that Mac language, airdrop it to my phone. Because typically if I am going to be doing any kind of reel, I want to do that on a mobile device because there are more options on your mobile phone than there are to do reels on the actual desktop application. So I always advise people, all of my clients, do reels on your phone. Do not do them unless you have to, like if you're scheduling, but create them on your phone. Even if you have to create them on your phone with all of, the tools and the options that you get on the phone, and then download that and then upload it if you're scheduling them out on, on your desktop. But that's pretty much using that app. And so now that I've shown you how you can take a service clip, put it in something like iMovie, Windows Movie Maker, go through it and cut out the different segments that you want, saving that to your phone. I'm going to pull up my phone and show you how you can actually now take that clip from your phone and put that into Facebook Reels. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my phone up so that you can see it. Alrighty. Let me get into my phone. All right, so now you are looking at my phone. And so I'm going to go into the Facebook app. And we're going to just go, let's do a reel. And so you're going to see where the section where it gives you all these options, and it says memories, and then it says reels. That's one place that you can actually do reels, but I'm going to show you another place as well. So let's say if you go, and I'm going to go to our church's page. At the very top, when you scroll up, there are 3 options that you see right under create post. You'll see there's a photo option. You can add a photo. There's a create story option where you can create a story, which are 26-second clips, or actually I think they may have made stories a little bit longer now as well. And then there is a reel. So you can also create reels from this part on your actual page. So you can do it when you actually, if you're admin of your ministries page, your church page, or if you're a business and you're doing reels, you can go directly from either your page front or from the home page when you just jump into to your app. And also at the top you'll see stories and you'll see reels. I can actually, that's the third place where I can create a reel. Now I have already saved a couple clips from our ministry that I'm going to show you how you can actually go in and post. And so when you just select where it says create reel, we're going to select that, and you'll see there are a couple clips here. Let's see, there are a couple clips here, and this one is from our First Lady. I'm going to pull that one up. And you'll see that that is the reel of her. Now, this is one thing that you can do, and I didn't mention that, and I'll probably stop this and go back and talk about that. It's because you see, and I'm going to pull that up again so you can see it. You see that that particular clip, because we shoot in landscape mode, 1080, then that is a wide clip. It's landscape, so it doesn't take up all this real estate. You see those black bars above it and below it? That's really not how you want your reel to look. You want that reel to cover all of the landscape, and I'll show you an example of the landscape that you want. You want that reel, and I think this one doesn't, so let's see. You want that reel, that video, to cover the entire portion. And so when you are inside of, and I think I'm going to go back and show you how to do that. When you are inside of your editing app like iMovie, there is a feature where you can actually change the orientation. So let's go back and do that. All right, let me pull it up. So I'm pull up my screen share really quick so you can see that as I am in here, and you can see that this is landscape. If I want this to be vertical video, which vertical video is 9:16, and so that means it's long. It is not horizontal, Lord. It's vertical. There you go. If you want it to be vertical, what you'll have to do is select it, and I'm going to show you how to do it in iMovie. It's probably really similar in let's say Windows Movie Maker, DaVinci, or any other where you can choose the orientation and the size. If you're in iMovie, all you have to do is select it here, and then you see these at the top. I wish I actually could see my cursor going around those. These are icons that you can select as well. The one you want to select is the one that looks like almost crosshairs, and it allows you to change the orientation of your video. See how I selected that? I'm rotating it, so I can select it there, and I can also choose a portion of that clip. When I clicked on crop to fill, it gave me a small window where I can actually find where my First Lady is. You see those crosshairs coming, showing me that that is actually centered. And so when I am actually doing that, I can select that, and you'll see where now I have her centered in the frame. And I know y'all are saying, well, Cheryl, she's sideways. In editing, I can change her. I can take this out of iMovie and put it in something like Photos and actually do the same thing, move it clockwise so that she's standing. But that way, when I'm scrolling through this video, all you'll see is her in that video. And so when it comes into putting that actually into Facebook Reels, it's going to be vertical. She's going to be standing upright, but you'll only see her, and it won't have those black bars at the top and at the bottom, because that's typically what people want to see. They want to see a full frame video inside of that without those black bars. Now, what you could do, and I'll show you that so I don't have to wait for like rendering. I'm going to go ahead and choose that actual video. What you could do, even though the video is like this, is you can add text to the top and bottom of that to call out, let's say, what she may be talking about, or what your pastor may be talking about, to bring attention to what that person is saying, so that the person, when they see the reel, before even listening to the reel, hearing the reel, or reading words or captions you may put on it, they'll have an idea of what that actual sermon excerpt is about. So I'm going to do that so you can see what I'm talking about. And actually what I may do is actually put the captions there. Let's see. And so I'm going to go ahead and let me stop. I'm going to stop that so I can show you exactly what I did. To add captions is going to actually allow me to add words that our pastor's wife is actually saying right here. So everything that she's saying, if I hit captions, it is the fourth option on the right hand side of the screen. You'll see audio, you'll see text, you'll see effects, and then you'll see captions. If I click on captions, Facebook is just going to bring up everything that she is saying. I can choose how I want that to be presented on here. I can choose this format where it's, big words going by. I can choose that the words come out actually as she is saying them. I can choose a format where it's like a typewriter going by, or the last option is I can choose it where it has several words or several lines and then it flips. So I can choose that, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose this one. And so I can just pull those captions at the very top of that. That is something that you can do if you have vertical video and you're trying to get reels out and you don't feel like going through the hassle of putting them in and editing software and changing the format so that it is vertical video. You just want to use this horizontal video and move forward. You could do something like this. That'll be really, really easy. We talked about on last week how you can add effects to this. So I could add effects to this. I could add background music behind it, but we're going to kind of keep it a little simple. Let's say we want to add some text to it at the bottom, and I can say something like, I could just actually add her name. I guess I should put a okay, so I can just add her name in there. And I think I'm going to take that background off. And then with my finger, I can just touch on that name and move it down to the bottom. So right here in this reel, I have put the caption at the top so you know what she's saying, and I put her name at the bottom so now you know who's saying it. You know what she's saying, you know who's saying it. And so that is one way to do a reel that is a sermon excerpt. That's pretty easy to actually do. But I want to, before we jump off on tonight, I'm going to pull this out, and so I'm going to discard that. If you ever are doing something and you decide, I don't want to do that, there's a back arrow on the top left. You can just click on the back arrow. It's going to ask you the question, do you want to keep editing it? You want to discard the changes? This will just discard, and boom, that video is gone. But I also want to show you how you can actually jazz up your particular your reels so that they stand out and they look a little more polished, they look a little more professional. And that's using an app called Canva, Canva. And I will, after this, I'll link it down in the description and also in the comments so that you can see or visit that site. Canva is a non-design inclined person's dream. So if you don't have a graphic designer at your church, if you're the person that does everything and you're trying to up level or amp up the design so it looks a little better, so maybe it's not just that particular video with nothing behind it, I'm going to show you how you can amp that up. So I'm going to jump back over here to the screen share. And this is what the app looks like. Again, it's called Canva, canva.com, Canva. And it allows you to use templates to actually jazz up your reels so they look a little more professional and they look a lot nicer and crisp and clean and just special, just real special. So if you want to find a template for it, right here in the search bar, you see it says search your content or canvas. You can just put in Reels template. And once you put in Reels template, it will bring up all of these nice templates for you to use. Let's say you wanted to use this one right here where it says how-to tutorial. You could use that and say this Sunday's sermon excerpt, or this Sunday's, or this week's empower minute. That's something I do in my ministry. I do empower minutes. So you can say this is your week's powerful empowerment. I'm trying to think of something jazzy, but my mind is blank. But anything just to make that stand out, or the Sunday remix. That's something our church does, is a Sunday remix. So you can use anything there. And I'm going to look for a little bit more, see if I can find another one I like. Or this one that just has a nice little border around it. So you can look through here and find nice frames to actually put that sermon clip in. And so I'm going to find one real quick that I like. Let's see. And I could be here all day, so I'm just going to, let me pick one from the top before I don't want to waste your time. So let me find one real quick. Maybe I'll go back to that same. I think I'm going to choose this one. So I'm going to choose this one. And so yes, I'm going to say yes, customize this template. And so any kind of video that I already have, I would upload that same sermon clip that we just pulled from iMovie, and I would bring it here. And so let's see, let's find some videos. Let's see. I believe I have a sermon clip in here. Here we go. All right, I'll use this one right here from our pastor, 34 seconds. All I do is touch this with a mouse and move it over into, there we go. And there it is. See, and so now you have a, there we go. Now you have a very stylized frame for your sermon clip. And right, this says Happy Mother's Day, but of course I could come here and I can change any of this text. He's talking about it was Jesus, and so I can just put like here, it was, and then double click on this, and I can change all of this text, and I could just say it was Jesus, if I can spell Jesus' name right. And then here it has a place for me to put either an at name for our church online, or I can even put our church's website here. So I'll put our church website. And I can resize any of this. So I can make that bigger. If I don't think you'd be able to see that, I can change the color of that. And so let's make it a stark white, or maybe let's make it black. So it'll pop out. And so I can change the size of it because I think that's kind of little. Let me pull these here. And so I can do so much just to stylize. Let's see, that's a little bit too big because that org is, there we go. I can drop this down to the bottom of that. Let's say I don't like the colors of these triangles. I can change the colors of them. I can just select that triangle, select the color that it is up in that corner, and I can make this match what he has on, so that it looks like, we planned this. So I could just choose those purples, and so it matches that. then I can take this, let's say I don't like that font, I can double click it and it'll give me all of these fonts that I can choose. And so I can actually change the font of it. Let's say I want it to be a little more bold, and I want to make that line spacing, change that letter spacing out just a little bit. And let's say I want to, let me undo that. Let's see, here we go. Let's say I want to make that bigger. I can either hold it and change that to make sure it's bigger. Let's say I don't want it that close on his face. I can move these down. So I can actually change anything that I want about, let's see. I'm going to change that. I don't like that font. We'll use the same font. It was Jesus. And so you see, I can stylize that. And the reason you would stylize it is because the attention span on Facebook is like 4 seconds. And you only have that much time while people are scrolling on their phones, which I think is like 87% of people that are on social media are on their mobile devices. They are not sitting at home on desktops and laptops. They are using it on phones, mobile devices, phones, tablets, iPads. That's how people are consuming information on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It's on phones. And so when they are scrolling through their phones, you want something that's going to jump out at them, something that's going to actually be different than all of the other platforms or all of the other messages that they may see. And so I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to show you, and you can actually see how long it is. It's 34 seconds, and you can scroll through it. I'm going to scroll through it so you can kind of see what it would look like. But I'm going to mute myself so you won't hear it. So that's what it's going to look like. So all you would do is download this, upload it into Facebook Reels, and now you have a really sophisticated, stylized look for your reel. So just wanted to give you some ideas of things that you could do with reels. I use Canva a lot for reels, especially for sermon reels. But I found another app that I really like that I'm going to show you all how to use as well. It's called CapCut. It's an app that you use on your mobile device, so it allows you to do everything on your mobile device. And so if I'm taking my phone and I have the sermon clip, I can add all of these graphics and more on CapCut. So we're going to also talk about that. If you have found any value in this, I hope that you have. I hope that you've seen things in this particular training that allows you to be able to matriculate better in the app. Because here's the thing. All social media platforms are going to vertical video. And I know that sounds scary for some people, but 2023 is being projected to be the year that the shift happens. We've seen a slow emergence to vertical video taking over. I believe this will be the year where it actually does. And so the body of Christ has to be ready, whether you are a member of the body of Christ and you're a business owner, you're a nonprofit. If you don't start adding reels, shorts for YouTube, if you don't start reels on Instagram, if you don't start integrating that into your social media plan, then you're going to see less traction and less engagement on your pages. And so I want to be able to share all of these tips with you so that you can get ready to actually jump into this stream that is already really flowing enough where all of the platforms pay creators to make content. They're paying people to make reels. That tells you how serious they are about reels. So I want you to be able to make them and make them with ease, make them look professional, and so that you aren't intimidated by making them. So I hope that this has been helpful. Oh, my mommy's online. Hey, mommy. I hope that this has been helpful to you. I hope that not only has this been helpful, I hope that you will use it. Don't just let it be helpful and you not use it. So I'm praying that while yes, it's been helpful, that yes, you will also use it. So if it has been helpful, I'm so happy that it has been helpful to you, and also want to give you the opportunity. I decided to just start using, and wow, I decided just to start using, instead of doing courses that people would have to pay for. I wanted to be able to give these for free, just so that you'd have the information. And that Cash App just took over, didn't y'all? So if you want to be a blessing to the ministry, you can also support us via Cash App. It's my name, Cheryl Thomas Speaks. I'd love for you to support me so that we can continue to offer this kind of content for free. Not have those kind of courses every other month or every week where you're paying for them, but that I can just show you how to do it. And then you would have access to the information. You'd have access to the data. And also, right before I jump off for tonight, I have a little commercial that I put together that I want you to see, that'll also give you some options to learn how to take social media by the horns, to not be afraid of it, but to use it for your benefit. And so just a moment, and here we go. So there you have it. If you are in need of anyone to help you manage your social media, you're saying like, Cheryl, that sounds good, but who's got time for that? Anybody got time for that? I have time for that, and I'd love to be able to help you. If you need help with live streaming, that is why we're here, Ministry Media Solutions. We are ready and willing and able to help you conquer social media, to make sure that the gospel is represented adequately, not just adequately, but superbly. If you have a business and you need help with social media, feel free to reach out to us. Just go to ministrymediasolutions.com and we will be there to help you. I love you all. Thank you all so much for rocking with me on tonight, and I will see you next time.